Is this undead bloodsucker getting laid to rest at the box office? Or is the night still young for this Universal Pictures horror comedy? Oscar winner Nicolas Cage is starring in his first studio movie in over a decade, with the release of Renfield. What's more, the film sees Cage playing the iconic role of Dracula, in director Chris McKay's unique take on literature's most beloved bloodsucker. Nicholas Hoult stars as Dracula's loyal servant in the film who, after centuries of servitude, is ready to see if there's a life outside of serving his vampiric boss. Critics have been a bit mixed on Universal's horror comedy take on the classic monster, with the film sitting at 62% on Rotten Tomatoes as of the making of this video. Still, it's got an uphill battle to fight, and the road ahead looks increasingly rough. It's early, but according to Variety, Renfield took in just $900,000 in Thursday night preview screenings. That sets it up for about a $10 million domestic debut. Competition is certainly going to be an issue, as the Super Mario Bros. Movie is going to easily top the charts in its second weekend, following its record-shattering $377 million global opening. But McKay's latest also comes with a $65 million budget, which isn't helping its case any. With a budget of that size, Universal likely needs it to make $150 million worldwide, very conservatively, to call it a win. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is easily going to win the weekend, as it's expected to take in $55 million on the low end in its second frame, with $70 million not out of the question. While a drop of close to 60% from its extremely high $146 million opening weekend is expected, this crowd-pleasing, family-friendly animated flick has blown past industry expectations up to this point, so there's no reason to think it can't overperform in its second weekend as well. What's interesting to note is that the adaptation of Nintendo's classic video game series was produced by Illumination, yet it's Universal handling distribution. That being the case, the studio was sort of getting in its own way on some level by releasing Renfield so soon after Super Mario. Then again, the hope was probably that Chris McKay's R-rated horror comedy would manage to thrive as counter-programming. And on a different weekend, that might very well have happened. Unfortunately, this weekend is extra crowded in that department, as The Pope's Exorcist is also hitting theaters. With another seasoned Oscar winner at its center in the form of Russell Crowe, Sony's latest horror offering is also giving genre movie fans a potentially appealing option. In the end, that could prove to be the bigger issue for Renfield. It's really more like Nick Cage's Dracula versus Russell Crowe's Pope-appointed Exorcist, as opposed to Dracula versus Mario. In Thursday previews, The Pope's Exorcist pulled in $850,000, which also sets it up for an opening weekend in the neighborhood of $10 million. That means that it will be nipping at the heels of Renfield the whole way. It's entirely possible that both of these movies will end up cannibalizing one another's audience to some degree, as horror lovers will have a choice to make. Sony's latest, however, has the edge here from a business perspective, as it carries a much smaller $18 million budget. It has also already pulled in $12 million overseas, setting it up for a successful run. As 2022 and the early months of 2023 have demonstrated repeatedly, horror is one of the hottest things at the box office right now. The Black Phone, Smile, Barbarian, Scream and Scream 6, and Megan, among others, have all done exceedingly well with audiences of late. The key, however, in most of those cases, was that the budgets were kept relatively low. Expensive horror is always a risk. It's all relative, though, as is always the case in the movie business. Both of these movies can end up making the exact same amount of money, but because Universal spent a lot more on Renfield, it is going to have a more difficult time breaking even. The potential saving grace is the fact that Chris McKay's film is rolling out in quite a few international markets throughout the rest of April and well into May. Depending on how overseas audiences respond, that could save Renfield from a fate worse than death, financially speaking.